Once upon a time, in a valley wrapped in fog and memory, where rivers whispered secrets and bamboo trees swayed like monks in meditation, there lived two frogs, Shiro and Kiko. They were not brothers by blood, but the bond they shared was thicker than water. Shiro was fiery and fearless, the kind of soul who would leap before looking. Kiko was the thoughtful one, careful, always watching the wind before sailing his leaf boat. One misty morning, the sky grumbled with rain, and the earth, slick with fresh mud, glistened under gray clouds. The two friends leapt through puddles, laughing like children who'd never been hurt by the world. But in their playful chase, fate had plans neither could see. With a single careless leap, they tumbled into an old forgotten well, hidden by overgrown grass and time itself. They landed with a wet thud at the bottom. The walls loomed tall, mossy, and unforgiving. Above them, the world shrank to a circle of sky. "What now?" Kiko asked, his voice trembling. "We climb," Shiro said, eyes burning. "No pit is bottomless if you refuse to stay." They began leaping, scraping, and slipping again and again. The cold stones offered no mercy. Soon, curious frogs gathered at the edge of the well. Heads peered in. Voices rose. "They're doomed," said an elder frog. "No one's ever climbed out of that old pit," said another. "Let them be. Even monkeys fall from trees." Kiko faltered, hearing the weight of their words. "Shiro," he gasped, "they're right. This is hopeless." But Shiro kept leaping, as if deaf to despair. "You can't pour tea into a cracked cup," he muttered, "so why listen to broken thoughts?" Voices continued to echo. "Poor souls. They're wasting their strength. Even wisdom can't grow in stone." One frog shouted down, "Give up! You'll only die tired." Kiko collapsed, his spirit sinking faster than his body. "I can't," he whispered. Shiro paused, panting, battered. He looked back at Kiko, then pointed to his own ears and shook his head. Only then did Kiko understand. Shiro was deaf. He hadn't heard the jeers. He hadn't heard the doubts. He had only heard the silence within, and in that silence, the voice that mattered. Not the voice of the world, but the whisper of belief. With one final, desperate leap, Shiro soared higher than ever and caught the edge of the well. A hush fell. Then came gasps. He pulled himself out, trembling but whole. He turned, looked down, and called, "Kiko, the wall is not higher than your will." Kiko closed his eyes. The voices were still there, but he chose not to listen. "Fall 7 times, stand up 8. 1 leap. 2. 3. Every fall whispered, "You can't." But one voice, his own, began to grow louder. He remembered the monk's words. A river cuts through rock not because of its power, but because of its persistence. At last, with heart pounding like a war drum, Kiko reached the top. Shiro caught his hand and pulled him out. The two collapsed in the grass, soaked, scraped, but victorious. The elder frog stammered, "How did you do it?" Shiro simply smiled. "I turned a deaf ear to despair." Kiko added softly, "And I stopped feeding the voice that starved my spirit." That evening, under a golden sky, they returned to the monastery pond where Master Sogen, the old Zen monk, waited with 2 cups of warm tea. He looked at them, then at the setting sun. "The bamboo that bends is stronger than the oak that resists," he said, pouring tea. Shiro bowed. Kiko's eyes shimmered. The monk smiled. "When the world tells you to give up, Remember this: even the smallest frog can stir the silence if it believes enough to leap. Don't let someone else's voice drown out your inner strength. Sometimes, to rise from a pit, we must go deaf to the world's doubts and listen only to the quiet, patient courage within. Keep leaping, even when it seems impossible, because the well is deep, but your will is deeper. If this story touched your heart, share it with someone who's facing their own well. Like, subscribe, and return tomorrow for more soul-stirring Zen wisdom.